there and welcome to Yarnspirations.com. In this video we're going to talk very briefly about cable stitching nomenclature in knitting. Now, there are as many cables in the world as there are stars in the sky, and they're all just a little bit different. But many things are the same, and hopefully by watching this video you'll get a little bit of the context in your brain, so when you're looking at your specific cable you'll know what's going on. This is a braided cable over 9 stitches. It has 3 legs. A leg is a section of stitches that moves together. So in the case of this cable, I have 3 stitches in each leg. I also have 3 legs. You can see there's one that goes this way, and then 2, and then 3. So there are 3 different legs to the cable. 3 legs, 3 stitches, 9 stitches in my cable panel. Now your cable panel can have anything from 3 to 121 stitches in there, and don't get crazy. Your specific instructions will tell you what to do. The next thing I want to point out is that cable panels are often, although not always, offset by a little bit of reverse stocking stitch before and after. That helps the outside legs of the cable have a little definition. And I want to suggest that you get a cable needle. Now I like these curvy ones, but they also come straight with a little hump in the middle. You could use a pencil, you could use a double-pointed knitting needle. I have been at the coffee shop and used a coffee stirrer. It's not that important, but if you are new to cabling, these are really handy because they're very hard to fall out. They are much more likely to stay where you put them. Now the gauge of those cable needles does not matter. It does not have, if you're knitting on a size 8 or 5mm needle like I am, you're not going to have to find a size 8 or 5mm cable needle. They basically come in small, medium, and large. So whichever one fits nicely with your yarn, that will be fine. Now every pattern that you do, it will have the cable crosses defined. Usually it'll start with a C for cable, and then it will have a number in the middle that is 4 or 6 or 8 or 9 or whatever, because that's telling you how many stitches you're manipulating at one time. And then it usually ends with an F for front or a B for back. So this particular cable, I am about to do a C6F, which means a cable over 6 stitches and the cable needle goes to the front. So here's my reverse stocking stitch. I'm going to take the next 3 stitches and I'm going to put them on the cable needle. I like to put them on the short side. You can go either way. 1, 2, 3, and it was a front, so I'm going to drop it to the front and leave it there. And that's why I like those curvy ones, because that really can't fall. Then I'm going to knit 3 stitches. In this case it's 3 because there's 3 stitches in each of the legs of my cable. Yours may vary. And then I'm going to knit 3 from the cable needle. So that is a C6F. Once again, when you're doing a specific pattern, it will tell you what the definitions mean. Now that I've got my stitches off the cable needle, I don't need it, I can put it aside. I'm going to finish knitting those last 3 stitches because that was a C6, so those stitches are not involved. There's my reverse stocking stitch accent, and then I will finish the row. Not every time, but 99% of the time, the wrong side rows, you knit the stitches as they appear. So you purl the purls and knit the knits, and never the twain shall meet. Once again, your specific pattern will tell you exactly what you have to do. Now, sometimes there are then right side rows where no cable crosses happen. This particular pattern has a cable cross on all of the right side rows, but that's not always the case. And how far apart the cable crosses are spaced defines how tall the cable is, how tall that little lozenge is between cable crosses. The more rows, the taller it is. But this is a relatively squat pattern, which I chose so that I can show you everything in a skill video. So now we're coming up on another right side row, and I'm going to make a C6, because I'm still working with 6 stitches, B. So in this particular instance, my C6B is on the last 6 stitches of the panel. So I'm going to go ahead and knit the first 3 stitches as I see them. 1, 2, 3. Grab my cable needle, put 3 stitches on the cable needle, 1, 2, 3, and drop them in the back of the work, because that was a C6B, B for back. Knit the next 3 off the left hand needle, 1, 2, 3, and then the 3 stitches off of the cable needle. 1, 2, 3, and then I will finish my row. So I hope this little review helps you figure out your next cable pattern, what the stitches are called, why they're called, what kind of cable needles to use, and where to put them when you're making the stitch. Thanks very much for joining us here on Yarnspirations.com. We look forward to seeing you again real soon.